Hello and welcome to our show. I'm Irma Baker and we're here with RSVP, the Retired Senior Volunteer Program, which is a part of Mature Services. We like to think of our show as a kaleidoscope because we're featuring interesting individuals, organizations, and activities in our viewing area. Well, today we're going to be talking about home security, an issue that certainly is important to a lot of us. And we'll be back in just a few minutes after these messages with our guest for today.
RSVP of Summit County has been making a difference in our community since 1972. RSVP volunteers are increasing the quality of life by participating in programs and organizations that provide important services to the community. RSVP matches personal interests and skills with opportunities to serve. If you're interested in adding more meaning to your life and improving the lives of others, please call 330-253-4597, extension 166.
Welcome back. Our guest today is Gary Lyon, and Gary is the General Manager of Safeguard. Gary, tell us a little bit about Safeguard and the company that you're associated with.
Safeguard started about a dozen years ago. I started that company, and about 2.5 years ago, we merged it with CityLink Cable. And Safeguard provides a variety of security alarm services as well as what we call med alert service.
Well, if you're talking security and med alert and things like that, you're dealing right with what is at the heart of many of our concerns. Certainly people sitting at home today or wherever they're watching the show today are concerned about personal safety, and that sounds like what you're primarily involved in.
Absolutely. It doesn't take long to sit down in front of the news to see what's going on in our society today. And we go with the adage, it's better safe to be sorry, which is very true.
I think that many people have experienced that just because maybe they have put off doing something about it or thought, oh, it's never going to happen to me, but things do happen. And I love the fact that one of the most important components of what you do is that you want people to be able to stay at home. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. With our senior services especially, we have the med alert, which allows you to have a pendant around your neck or on your wrist in case you have a medical emergency. Instead of having to be in a facility where someone would be able to assist you, you have the freedom to stay at home and have that pendant at your disposal at all times, whether you're in the shower. The system we use is about 1,000-foot range, so you can go out into the yard, and you have the freedom of knowing that if you have any issues at all, you can just press that button and you'll have help.
Well, you said something very important there, that even if you're in the shower or the tub, I thought that devices like these, you couldn't use. I mean, they're electric or electronic, aren't they? How is it that they're safe to use in a tub or a shower?
And that's a common misconception. We get that question quite often. We do make all of the sensors waterproof, and not just water resistance, but waterproof. They can be submerged. You don't ever have to worry about wearing it wherever you're at or whatever you're doing. I
think that a lot of people do feel that security systems might be, well, let's take it right to the very basics. How do you know if you even need a security system?
I'll tell you a little story. When I was first married, I found out that I had a responsibility that I didn't know I would have as a bachelor. And one night, my wife said, I think you need to do a little patrol around the house. Make sure all the doors are locked, all the windows are locked. So I did that. I went to sleep. And about 3 in the morning, I get this sharp nudge from her elbow on my side saying, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Hear what? I was sleeping." She said, "I heard something." I said, "It was probably nothing. Let's go back to sleep." That didn't fly. She nudged me again and says, "Get up and check it out." So I got up and I looked for my weapon of mass destruction, which was a putter. And if you've ever seen me golf, you know that's true. And I'm going to head out the door, and I have this putter in my hand. And my heart is racing, you know, I'm excited about this, and she goes, "Wait." I'm like, "What?" She said, "If it's nothing, get me a yogurt." So I'm ready to go to my doom in my mind, and she wants a yogurt. I said, "All right." So I go down the hallway, each step with this putter, and I get to the top of the steps, and I yell, "Hey, is anybody down there?" Which I have no idea why I yelled it, because the last thing I want to do is someone to answer, like, "Yeah, this is Tony, and we're stealing all your stuff." I would probably just said, "Hey, could you throw me a yogurt?" So it ended up being nothing. And at that point I was thinking, I'm not getting her yogurt, not after all of this. So anyways, we're sitting in bed eating yogurt, and she looks at me and she says, "It's better to be safe than sorry." And that was even before I was in this business. And I had to smile, you know, because it makes perfect sense that, you know, it only takes one instance for that prevention to be well worth it. So, you know, just with our society, everybody thinks that either I'm in a safe neighborhood or I've got people around all the time. There's so many areas of crime that are happening now. It's not selected areas. It's not just in a poor neighborhood or a rich neighborhood. There are homes in remote areas that are being broken into. There's really no safe zone anymore. So it just makes good sense to take that ounce of prevention.
Well, I can just picture you going through the middle of the night. And you said though, it turned out to be nothing, but it really was something, because you had a disturbed night. Your sleep was disrupted. You may not have been at your best at work or whatever you needed to do the next day. So even though, thankfully, there was no emergency, no break-in or vandalism or anything going on, the fact is, it affected your peace of mind. And I think that that's an important thing, and when we think about security and home security and personal security, that peace of mind is very important. Do you hear that from people?
Absolutely. It's probably the most important advantage of having a security system, either that or a personal emergency system like MedAlert, because we only have so much life to live, and we have so many stresses already in life. If you can save yourself peace of mind and get rid of any other stresses out there that you can by having these things in place, it makes a huge difference in your quality of life and the way you can enjoy life.
How would you assess, or I guess what I'm asking is, how would you tell people to assess their life situation, their living situation, to determine if they do need a security system or a personal medical system?
There are a lot of instances that happen that spark people to get an alarm system. Sometimes it's moving into a new neighborhood, a new house. You don't know people, you don't know the situations there with crime. Sometimes it's the birth of a child. Sometimes it's when a loved one passes away, maybe a spouse passes away and the other one's alone now. So their life circumstances really can make you think about, you know, the options that you have with security. It's gotten to the point, just like cell phones years ago, only so many people had cell phones. Now you're in the minority if you don't have a security system anymore, because it's becoming commonplace. Unfortunately, because our society is degraded to that point, but you know, that's the world we live in, so we have to take the measures we need to.
How much of a deterrent is a security system to crime?
Statistics say from the United States Justice Bureau that a home with a security system is one out of every 3 homes will be broken into with a security system versus 3 times as many homes without. So you're going to have a much better chance of not having a break-in with a security system.
What are the most vulnerable areas of a home?
And not only just vulnerable areas, but some precautions that people can take as well. Of course, rear of the home is usually broken into often, but that's because there's cover there. So any type of concealment that you can avoid, maybe not letting bushes grow up to the height of the windows, keeping them trimmed down so that there's not as much concealment. Have light, you know, whether it's a motion light, so at night if somebody walks out, the light comes on. Make sure that it is important to let your neighbors know that if you're not going to be home, as long as you can trust your neighbors, but at least someone to give the appearance maybe that you are home. Have someone park a car there, have someone turn lights on and off when they check your mail, or have timers to do your lights on and off. You know, there are so many things factors that you can use to make yourself safe along with a security system. They just kind of go hand in hand.
What would you say is the most important thing that people need to think about when they are looking at security at home?
There's so many options out there that people get confused. You could go to Home Depot and buy a basic little security system, but the problem with a lot of that is you don't get service if you need it, you may not understand it. So one thing would be to find a company that does this and does this primarily, you know, that this is a large part of what they do. The second thing would be to make sure they're using, you know, good equipment, something that can accomplish what they want. Thirdly is to make sure that they're designing it for your needs. We don't believe in using a cookie cutter approach because you may have different house layout or different lifestyle than somebody else or than me. So it's important to find someone that will give you a security system design that fits your needs.
That flexibility certainly is an important aspect of any kind of security, and I think it's the awareness as well. How do you help people become more aware of their surroundings and their situation? You know, like you said, we kind of get maybe lackadaisical. We kind of think, oh, well, nothing's ever happened, nothing's going to happen, we're fine. How do you help people to build awareness?
We keep track of area crime, and we send out mailers whenever there's multiple crimes in an area just to let people know. And that's good. It's good for people to look at the crime reports and see what's going on in your area, because sometimes that comes in trends. You know, it may hit one certain area, or there's been scams out there where people have said they're the gas man, and while they're at your door, somebody else is trying to break into the back door. So it's just good to be up on news briefs and crime reports, just to have an idea of what's going on around you.
Well, you said something very interesting, and that is that you send out mailers. So is that if someone is a subscriber to your service, does that mean that in addition to the service, you're also proactive in contacting them and giving them updates of information in their area? Is that a service to your subscribers?
It can be a service to our subscribers because we send out to a whole area, but also their neighbors, just to let them know that there's crime happening in this area and to be aware and maybe take some extra precautions. Simple things like if you have a major purchase, a television or something, don't put the box outside with your trash to advertise, hey, we have a new TV in here. You know, so just some simple things like that can make a difference and prevent break-ins from happening.
You brought some equipment along just to show us. Can you tell us what you brought along?
Today I brought with me our MedAlert unit. It is for safety for medical use, and it's the one I said that could be worn around the neck or on the wrist. It is made by the original manufacturer, so when I said one of the things is important is the equipment that is used.
Is this what we're talking about?
This is what we're talking about. This can be put on your wrist or on this necklace. It's completely waterproof, has a 1,000-foot range. Right, it can be also mounted inside of there instead of here. And this gives you the flexibility to live your life, do the things you like to do, and not have to be concerned with an emergency. Because you know that if you press this button, the unit is going to sound, and a voice is going to come across there and ask you, is everything okay?
When you said a voice is going to come across, is that a recorded voice?
No, we actually have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are representatives waiting for any emergency calls. And it doesn't have to be, I'm having a heart attack. We encourage people to press it if they're feeling dizzy. Let's do preventative, measures, not just at the extreme moment when I really need somebody press it, but if I'm just not feeling well, let's press it. And maybe not have an ambulance come, but just contact my son or daughter for me, please.
Well, that sounds like a marvelous service, because when I think of these med alerts or security systems, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, should I or shouldn't I? Because what if it's not really emergency and they're going to get mad at me if I call in or I press the button and it really wasn't anything?
Right, and there is a mindset like that. That's why we try and educate and encourage people to use it. It's a service that you have, so use it. And a lot of times preventative. In fact, recently we had one where someone had pressed the button, they weren't feeling well, and they went to the hospital, and it ended up being a major ordeal that it was gotten, care was received that quickly. If they would have waited till longer, there's a possibility they might not have made it. So don't underestimate, I guess is what I'm saying, the value of being able to get help even sooner. Sometimes, including myself, we're stubborn about either going to the doctor or taking our medicines or what have you. So it's better to just go ahead and press that button. It doesn't cost anything. You're not bugging anybody. That's what we're there for.
So, you've got to keep those people who are there 24 hours a day, give them something to do.
That's right.
But we don't want anyone to be, it's kind of, it's insurance. It's a type of insurance in a sense. We don't want to really have to use it, but it gives us that peace of mind, knowing that it is there if we need it. I guess I should ask you, when somebody comes to you for a security system or the med alert system, what are their biggest questions?
Well, most of it is concern about how is this used? Is this going to be right for me? There's so much out there in the media as far as commercials, and there's so many different types of systems, and people just want to make sure that what they have is really going to give them the peace of mind they're after, what they're getting. And our philosophy is to educate as much as possible about what your options are, what's available to you, and to seek out the best solution that's going to work for you.
And those solutions can take a number of different forms, can't they?
Sure. We can, as far as security systems, we can design several different types of security systems for the same home. It may meet that person's needs differently than somebody else's needs. As far as med alert systems go, we may have a unit with 2 buttons instead of 1 button because we have a Mr. and Mrs. that have concerns there. We also may set up the med reminder on that so that they can be reminded to take their medicine and open up their medicine, for Wednesday, and okay, this is time to take this.
Now that's a very interesting concept that I've never heard of in terms of the med alerts. I always thought they were outgoing, but they can actually serve as a notice, a reminder, as you said, to take your medicine now?
Absolutely. We also have built-in temperature monitors, so if for some reason the thermostat would go down in the middle of the night, the furnace goes out, it's going to notify us so that person doesn't spend a cold night.
That really takes security systems, excuse me, takes security systems beyond the, oh my gosh, somebody's breaking in. We're talking about all kinds of issues that could happen in the home.
Sure, and once again, we return right back to it's peace of mind. So you don't have to sit and worry about all these things happening. They're taken care of. Well,
I know that one of the most important things to you is helping people to stay in their homes. Why?
Yes.
Why is that so important to you?
I have family that has aged and has gotten to the point to had to be in a facility, and we tried to keep my grandmother at home as long as possible. But at one point, we did have to put her in a facility. But to stay at home is so important to so many people. It gives you not only a quality of life, and I'm going to set this down so I don't fiddle with it, but not only a quality of life, but because you enjoy being home. But there's been studies also that show that people do better at home because of the environment, as long as they have the proper care. So we've tried to make efforts, one, by providing a service like this to help people to stay at home, and two, also to be involved with the Area Agency on Aging to educate professionals to improve their quality of care so that someone staying at home will receive just as good, if not better care than if they were in a facility. And I just think that's so important to help seniors be able to have that.
How do you work with the Agency on Aging?
We do a couple of things. First of all, we are currently with them in 13 counties and expanding to provide the service through them as well. They have a program called the Passport Program. And with that, seniors can get this, if they qualify, at no charge to them. So they can have this service and enjoy that peace of mind and have that help if they need them, and not have to worry about the costs. You know, a lot of tight budgets out there nowadays. Secondly, we have partnered with them to sponsor and be a part of training those individuals. There are training events that happen every month, and we help different types, whether it's a social worker, whether it's a nurse going into a home, whether it's just someone giving care in the home. We help to promote and educate those people so that they can give the best care possible.
In doing those trainings or those educational sessions, what are you finding is the biggest lack out there in education about security?
The biggest educational gap really is reaching or communicating, I would say, to seniors what the best options are. A lot of the seniors don't understand what all their options are, what programs are out there. I mean, I'm in the business and I don't know all the programs that are out there, so it makes sense that they need help with that. And to give them the best care, you have to be able to determine what care is best for them. So we do a lot of educating on, okay, here's the best way to evaluate their situation. Or if someone has Alzheimer's, this is the best way to approach this situation. You know, so there are different trainings keyed in on specific areas that will help give the best care to seniors.
Well, if there are people in the audience, our viewing audience here, who would like to get in touch with you directly, is there a way that they can do that?
Absolutely. They can reach me at Safeguard, which is a division of MCTV, but so if they answer the phone MCTV, that's why. But we are not confined just to the MCTV cable viewing area. We, like I said, go out into 13 counties right now. So they can reach us at that office number, and they can ask for me specifically, Gary Lyon.
Well, we really appreciate the fact that one of the ways that you are reaching out to the community is through us as being a sponsor of this show. So we thank you very much for doing that. And what would you say, just to wrap it up for today, what would you say is maybe the one basic piece of advice that you would give to people?
The best advice I would give to people is to be proactive. I was looking at some statistics recently, and you talk to a lot of people, and if they were at a ball game and a foul ball was hit in their general area, they would think, oh, that could happen to me, I could catch it, and they stand up and try and catch it. People play the lotto every day because they think, oh, it could happen to me. But your chances are far, far greater to have either an accident in the home or to have a break-in in your home. But most people think, oh, that'll never happen to me. And being proactive in those things, Benjamin Franklin said it, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And it's true then and it's true today.
Well, we really thank you for being with us today. It's been a pleasure having you with us, and I'm sure that we've all gotten some good information from what you've shared with us today. And we thank all of you for tuning into our show today. We hope you've enjoyed it and that you'll remember our sponsor, RSVP, part of Mature Services, offering opportunities in the community for people 55 and older. If you'd like more information about RSVP or Mature Services, just call the number that'll be on your screen. So for RSVP TV, this is Irma Baker saying have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Since 1971, RSVP has been matching volunteers' talents to community needs. RSVP is affiliated with the Corporation for National and Community Service, a national organization that supports service and volunteering through grant-funded projects. Volunteers organize neighborhood watch programs, tutor children, renovate homes, plant community gardens, assist victims of natural disasters, and serve their communities in many other ways. RSVP offers maximum flexibility and choice to its volunteers as it matches the personal interests and skills of Americans 55 and older with opportunities to serve their communities. If you're interested in adding more meaning to your life and improving the lives of others, please call 330-253-4597, extension 166.
There's no place like home. Stay in your home with a 24-hour companion that doesn't need to be let outside, who isn't a grown adult reluctant to leave the nest, or a well-meaning neighbor who pops in every day. With Massillon Cable TV's MedAlert personal emergency response system, you can stay home, have peace of mind, and your family will feel better too, knowing you have access to someone 24/7 should you need help. Keep your independence with Massillon Cable TV's MedAlert service. To learn more, call 330-833-4134. That's 833-4134. Or visit their website, MassillonCableTV.com.